Turns out it really wasn't much of a threat, but some pretty scary hours for people in Wallingford last night as firemen moved quickly to evacuate homes just south of the Barnes Industrial Park near Route 5, worried about potentially toxic fumes coming from a small fire.
Their management personnel told us, that it was a resin. We consulted with our hazard materials books, and we went ahead and reacted to what they recommended, such things as evacuating a half a mile, using water fog, everybody in protective clothing, everybody wearing breathing apparatus.
The fire at the Quantum plant began shortly before 9 o'clock last night in a container of dust from a plastic resin used at the plant. Neighbors as far away as 3/4 of a mile were shooed out of their homes until the fire was out and the air was cleared.
Tonight, state officials are looking toward Wallingford as they put together a statewide evacuation plan in case of disaster. After a chemical fire last night, officials in Wallingford are being praised for their swift and very effective reaction. We get more on the story from Channel 3's Bertha Coombs.
It was a contained fire, a chemical residue burning in a waste bin. Wallingford fire officials went by the book, evacuating the area for half a mile.
We consulted with our hazard materials books, and we went ahead and reacted to what they recommended.
The fire was controlled fairly quickly and fumes were kept from spreading. Still, 75 people were evacuated for over 2 hours as a precaution. As more and more communities are finding that chemical accidents are happening within their boundaries, they feel that they have to be prepared for the inevitable.
I would say the majority of the towns do not have a plan. And
public safety officials say it's planning that keeps chemical accidents from turning into tragedies. It's worked so far this year. In Avon, when a truck carrying solvents rolled over, and in Meriden, where officials used foam to put out a gas tanker fire. The damages in both cases were contained.
It's too late once something happens to put something together quickly in order to react to it.
Next month, a state task force will unveil a program to help all of the state's towns develop their own emergency plans and train personnel to deal with accidents.
A generic plan, which is really a blueprint. It asks the questions that should be asked by a town to put together a plan to answer their specific needs.
Wallingford has had a chemical emergency plan for over a year, working with the DEP and local industries to get a handle on what materials are in the area. The fire department hopes to have a hazardous materials team on hand round the clock.
Keep up to date and keep updating what is here in our community as far as hazardous material is concerned, how to deal with it, what's the proper equipment.
The state's program won't be mandatory, but the DEP is sure there'll be a high participation. Keeping accidents from becoming tragedies is a powerful incentive. Bertha Coombs, Channel 3 Eyewitness News, Wallingford.